Guys, and welcome back to another Tech Tuesdays 10 tips. This week we're going to be covering a little bit on your mouse and just some of the functions that it'll be able to do and some of the cool tricks that you can do with it. But first we're going to touch on your USB port. Now your USB port can be used to charge many things. Phones, tablets, that sort of thing. Anything that can be plugged in using a USB, you can plug it into your computer to charge. There are a few things that we wouldn't recommend plugging into your USB charger. Something like a kettle or a desktop fridge would try to draw a little too much power from your USB port, and in turn it would actually end up surging back into your computer and blowing your motherboard. The next tip that we're going to cover is shift clicking. So navigating through a document with your mouse can be fairly simple. But what if you want to highlight a large chunk of text? Well, instead of just clicking and dragging and hoping that you make it to the right spot, there's a quicker way to go about this. If you click at the beginning of the text that you're looking to highlight, then hold down your Shift key, click at the end of the text that you want to highlight, your cursor will automatically highlight all of the text that you've chosen. This can be very useful if you're trying to highlight more than one page of text, or if you're trying to highlight a large amount of text on a web page. Next, we're going to focus on the mouse wheel. The mouse wheel can absolutely be your best friend while navigating around your computer. When you're in a web page, you can use it to scroll up and down the page, or if you're in a Word document with more than one page, you can use it to scroll through the pages on that, simply by rolling the mouse wheel either up or down. If you have a mouse wheel that can click, you can also use this to click on a link and it will actually open the link that you've chosen in a new tab. You can also use it to close a tab by clicking the middle mouse button on the tab while highlighting it. You're also able to zoom in and out on most web pages by holding down the Control key and scrolling up to zoom in and down to zoom out. Double clicking. So double clicking is what you would do to open up a file or to launch an application on your computer. Double clicking is done using the left mouse button and can also be used while in a Word document or on a web page. By double clicking on word in a text, you will highlight the selected word. This can make text selection on a web page a lot easier for you, and it's a lot easier than using the drag and drop method. Triple clicking. So, just like double clicking, this can also be used to select text. The difference being is that by triple clicking, you will highlight the entire paragraph, as opposed to the single word. This can be very useful for highlighting large amounts of text on a web page. Right mouse clicking. So the right mouse button can be an extremely useful tool. It can give you many options depending on what you have right clicked on. If, for example, you right click on a word in a Word document, it will bring up a bunch of formatting options that you can go through and select. If you right click on a file on your desktop, then it will bring up a bunch of advanced actions that you would be able to perform. Some of these advanced actions include choosing how to open a file and whether to run it as an administrator. You can also right click and drag a file or program on your desktop. And when you release the right mouse button, it will give you a short list of options such as move file here or copy file here. This just makes moving a file a little bit easier as you don't have to double handle the file and then delete it if you've moved it. The mouse side buttons. So most new mouse, the jury's still out on this one, but most of them have side buttons. These can be very helpful while navigating web pages, as pushing the back one will allow you to go back a page, and pushing the one at the front will allow you to go forward a page. Managing the open window with the mouse. Up in the top right corner of the window for a PC and the top left for an Apple, you will find three sets of buttons. The first button looks like a dash. This is the minimize button, and if you click it, it will shrink your window down to the taskbar. The second button, a square. This is the enlarge button, and when you click it, it will make the window the same size as your entire screen. The third button is a cross. When you push on this, it will close the current window you are using, or any web browsers that you have open. If you're using a web browser with multiple tabs open, it will generally ask you if you would like to close all the tabs. The middle mouse click. By clicking the middle mouse button on your mouse wheel when you're in a web page or a document that is longer than the window, it will bring up a small icon in the center. This icon will have two arrows both at the top and the bottom of it. When you move your mouse either to the top or the bottom of this symbol, your document will either scroll upwards or downwards, depending on which way you've moved it. The further away from the icon that you move the mouse, the faster the document will scroll. For this final tip, we're going to have a look at touchpads. So touchpads are usually on a laptop, and this is for people who don't use a mouse. There's a fairly easy way to navigate while using a touchpad, and that's by using two fingers and touching onto the touchpad and sliding your fingers up and down to scroll. This is very useful for navigating up and down web pages. Thank you very much for joining us for another Tech Tuesday's 10 Tips. I do hope that you've learned a little something today. We do hope to see you in the future, and be sure to give us a like and subscription on YouTube, check out our Facebook page, and also feel free to stop by and check out our website. All the links will be in the description at the end of this. Thank you again, and we hope to see you in future videos.